What's your advice to someone who is lost?
The opposite of addiction is connection, and I could never do this thing on my own.
I've been working since I was a kid. I just gotta keep my head.
That you're responsible for and that your name's attached to, do you feel like that gave you that responsibility to be better than you were?
That's when it all began. I don't need a rollie on my.
When you believe in yourself a little bit, you'd be surprised what could happen. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Loft. We are not in the Loft today. Today we're at Fourcast Day Club in Wildwood.
It's a little cloudy.
It's a little cloudy, but it's a beautiful spot. It's nice out today. It's hot, but we had to get one done before the summer, and I wanted to have you on. And first off, welcome Jason Weiss back onto the pod.
Hello everyone. I
Yeah.
want to put my sunglasses on so I can see.
So Jason is a friend of the pod. He's been on one time before, but we decided to run it back again, just because you started. You are keeping this thing together. Fourcast, Vyce, and Fairview.
We're trying. If that's what you want to call it.
Yeah,
keeping it together.
For those who don't know, these are three brand new spots that opened up in North Wildwood. Three brand new spots that opened up in North Wildwood, and Jason's been like the brunt of the operation, the front of the operation, and I was just genuinely curious on how you keep three pieces together, three spot place with marketing, having new DJs in, and just like kind of keeping it all together, because it's brand new, and you're and like I said, this is your operation, and I'm just really curious on the whole aspect of just keeping something like this together, building it, and maintaining it.
I mean, that's very kind to think we're keeping it together. So, well, welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we're in the cabana as well. It's
We are.
Beautiful cabana. And honestly, like when you were texting me, you told me, "Don't worry, the cabanas are all powered." And I'm like, I was like, you literally think of everything. So
I can't take credit for that. That's my partners. They are the brains and the designs and the construction behind the whole thing. But yeah, so we're out here at Fourcast. It's connected to Seaport Suites, so it's a 63-room hotel. Fourcast is the day club, we'll call it. It's more of a hotel pool with some bars.
Right.
Inside is Fairview Social, bar, restaurant, full menu, really, really great chef. Really, I have some food coming out for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I have some food coming out
I
for
had
you
the
right now.
calamari last time I was here when I played
Okay.
at Vyce. I was good. It was really good.
And then Vyce is the nightclub, which has been definitely the most tricky for us here, for sure.
And it's like,
So-
you know what I've noticed, though? I've noticed that, first off, your last Monday popped off, which was great.
It did.
I thought it was great to see that. And that's like what I've also been really curious about is you're kind of starting from scratch because it's a brand new place and you got to remarket everything. And you have to, just find your niche and find where you can really succeed. And then, like I said, I'm genuinely curious about that whole idea and that whole process because, like I said, it's not an easy thing to do. That's why I wanted to come down here and have this podcast and like really pick your brain about it. And because like I said, I see what you're doing and I want to like. And I respect what you're doing. I love it. And honestly, it's beautiful. Like just coming out here, it's beautiful. Nice. And like you can't complain. You got family out here, got some good music, got some, and everything's brand new, state of the art. So it's like it's really nice.
It doesn't feel like Wildwood back here.
It doesn't. No,
it doesn't.
But that's not a bad thing either, though.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. What we wanted to do here in this specific project was Pacific Avenue, which is where the project is located, used to be the hot spot down here, from what I told. I never came down here. That was kind of before my time. But Pacific Avenue was apparently like the place you went, just like North Wildwood is now.
Yeah.
We're trying to get it back to there. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's certainly not going to happen right away because people are the shore is very, very regimented. You go where you go. You go Friday night, you go here. Saturday night, you go there. It's kind of just the way it works down here. When I was DJing at the Whitebriar at Avalon, Friday night you went to the Princeton. Saturday you went to Whitebriar Happy Hour, and Saturday night you went either back to the Whitebriar or you went back to the Princeton. That's kind of just where you went. Right. Same thing with down here. You go to Keenan's, you go to the Inlet, you go to Exit 6 kind of later. It's like you end your night kind of at Exit 6. But there's 7 different nightlife options down there. Down here, there's just us. Right. So it's very hard to get people to commit to coming down here. Without kind of knowing what it is and how it is and what we're doing. But
well, let me ask you this then.
Sure.
Okay, so why take on something so grand is this? You know, not operating one happy hour restaurant, but a day club, a restaurant, and a nightclub. So why take that on for yourself?
I don't know. Honestly, you know, I've been DJing for a very long time professionally. I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Yes.
And this is kind of my my end game for them. You know, there is the shelf life for what we do as DJs. I'm a little bit older. I've been doing this a pretty long time. And this project here was something that I wanted to do for my family. You know, I got brought in by my partners to kind of help concept it and help run it, obviously, and kind of help drive what was going to be going on here. But to me, this was a way to obviously add to, you know, the portfolio of things that we do. I always like learning about new things. So learning. There you go.
There you go, guys.
In the pool.
We're just going to film that. Kid jumping in the pool.
Yeah, I hope we caught that. But this was kind of just like this was the next step. You know, we've kind of done all there is to do in the DJ stuff, and I'm not saying that to stick my chest out, but kind of just this was something for my family, and this was something, you know, my partners have grand plans of making this street a lot more than just this, and I wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted to be a part of something different, and it's kind of nice to be a part of something from the ground up. And if we're going to keep it 100, you know, as DJs, we make a lot of people a lot of money a lot of times. You know, we drive the party. It's nice to have that kind of be related back to me a little bit, you know, where at the end of the night, when the night's crazy, it's like, oh, wow, that was, you know, it's not just like here's a DJ fee. It's like, oh, wow, this is what you kind of built. This is bigger than all that.
Yeah,
you know?
so you wanted to add to your portfolio to an extent. And and so going from DJing to more of the management business side, what has that been like for you?
Well, I'm not a restaurant guy. I've never worked in a restaurant. So now to, you know, have a little bit of a piece of a restaurant, especially one of this nature. Here comes the food now.
There we go.
Look at the timing on that.
There we go. There we go. Come on in.
Come on in. You can just drop it. I got a bunch of food for you, but I don't know what you feel like eating. But
I'll take a little bit of
So
everything.
actually, there's a different menu out here than we have in the restaurant. So that's kind of cool too.
Really?
Yeah.
So you have two whole menus.
Correct. So it's one kitchen that's servicing 2 different food and beverage venues. The club obviously doesn't have any sort of food, so I got some wraps, some
Thank you so much.
sticks,
Say what's up to the camera, by the way. Camera 3 right there, right in the middle.
Say hi, Steve. That's Steve. He's a real one.
There you go.
Yeah, Steve works for me in all the places. So that's the other cool thing too, is, you know, like the staff that works out here can work inside. And work in the club. But
would you say you're trying to build a culture?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Like at every place, I guess you work at. But
I would absolutely hope so.
I guess so. And it's, you know, from what and like I said, I've been going to Wildwood as well. And you can bring the mic closer to you too. That way you can pick. You can take it. You take it out you're good.
There we go.
And the beauty too is that this can record as long as I want. So
that's cool.
So it streams it. So it doesn't even like. It's not.
That's really cool.
Remember, I used to have to reset the cameras.
Yeah.
That's all gone. So.
Wow, you are a pro now, man.
I'm trying. You know.
I'm proud of you. This is awesome.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man.
I mean, listen. As far as the culture question.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely do things a little bit differently than a traditional, I guess, owner, which is sometimes really good and sometimes really bad.
Yeah.
I've never really been. I mean, I've obviously run a company and I've run a business before and a fairly successful one. So I understand what it takes to do that, but this is a whole nother monster. Like the restaurant world is another monster, and the things that, you know, you have to learn. And I didn't know any of them. And you know, we had some partnership changes and some personnel changes and things like that. So I spent by the right way to do this by my partners, the right way to do this by the staff, the right way to do this by my family and my time. I still spend a lot of time learning. I mean, man, I barely ever used a POS before I part-owned the place, you know? So it's, I'm very lucky. I have some super supportive people in my corner. I have some super supportive partners and there's a lot of people that have really that really want this place to be successful, not just for me, but for my partners' families and things like that. But you know, a project like this that costs the amount of money that it costs and the time that it costs. You know, when I said something the other day, when we first started talking about this, my youngest daughter, who will be 5 in February, was 5 months old.
Wow.
So if that gives you kind of an idea of how long, because COVID set us back a little bit.
This has been years in the making.
Years. So this used to be 2nd Street Annie's in the Fairview, for anyone that's listening that has ties back to original Wildwood. So 2nd Street Annie's in the Fairview was here. We knocked both of those down and built this.
Right.
But COVID hit. There was plans to do different things with it. There was plans to do, it was going to be J1 housing, which is the boardwalk workers, and now it's a hotel. And that's, township weave, and but my partners handle all that. I can't really take credit or responsibility for those, but what we have now is obviously the final product. But obviously things have changed so significantly from that first conversation before COVID to now,
right,
that the whole project has evolved along with, the people involved in it. So,
right,
yeah, we're trying to build the right culture down here, not just for the place, but for the whole street.
Right. Yeah. So I guess another question I can ask is, are you looking to? So this whole entire area, you're looking to expand on this whole area?
So this is 3600 Pacific Avenue.
Right.
My partners have 3700 and 3800 Pacific Avenue as well.
Okay.
So the plan is to do more than just this. 3700 got approved for the next project. And I'm not really sure what's going on with 3800. We're trying to just get settled here first. This was a big undertaking. So
well, let me ask you this then. What have you learned throughout this process so far? Obviously, I know it's been years, but since you've really taken this head on, what have you learned, I guess, about yourself? We'll start with yourself.
Man, I don't know.
Because every time
you said these can stream forever, right?
Yeah.
What have I learned about?
Because I was gonna say, every time I text you, I've noticed you're exhausted. You've been working your ass off, and it's like, what have you learned about yourself in this process that you may not have learned just from DJing or having accounts like the Ubans, the Brews and Tradesmen's, like having taking on something completely new. What have you learned about yourself?
I've learned that we can push ourselves a little bit harder than we thought.
Yeah.
I've learned that it's okay to ask for a lot of help when you need it. Not very good at that per se.
Yeah.
And I've learned that it's okay to not know
something,
or anything really. Yeah. I mean, I literally walked into that restaurant pretty blind. And that was extraordinarily humbling. It's also okay to admit that things aren't going as well as you'd like them to.
Right.
Which is hard for me too. You go from the Pitbull stuff and the stadiums and then this to a nightclub that's maybe got 15, 20 people in it on a Saturday. That's hard for me from a personal standpoint, from a professional standpoint. There's a lot of people I thought might have been a little more supportive. From a friendship standpoint, you learn kind of who's in your corner a lot more and who's not.
Right.
And there's a ton of great people that are in mine. So I'm, you know who you are, and I tell you all the time, and I'm super thankful for you.
Yeah.
I'll say that into the camera.
Yeah.
But you just learn that every day you have to try to be a little better, and learn a little more. I always say I'm not dumb. I'm uneducated.
Right.
When it comes to this stuff, like I'm not dumb. I just don't know it, and it's okay to say that. And I'd rather somebody come to me and say, "Hey, I don't know how to do this," and I do that all the time, than do it wrong.
Right.
So I've learned that this is going to be a little while. I thought it was kind of going to be a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But as far as I go, I've learned there's nothing I won't do for my family. I've learned there's no amount of hours that I won't work to make something I'm passionate about work.
Right.
Because I am very, very tired. We got done here. The event last night ended at 3 a.m.
Okay.
I was back here at 9:30. My youngest daughter's not feeling great, so she was on top of me for a good part of the night. We close up, we run around, and then I don't know. I talked about this on the last podcast.
Yeah.
You get done our world. When I used to work for the law firm, you get done at I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock. You don't go home and go right to sleep. You go home and you do some shit and you run some errands and same thing with this. But my night's over at 4 or 5 and not 5 p.m. So my daughters are up at 6:37. I'm getting poked, and Ellie didn't feel good this morning, so she was on top of me. So and here we are. That's why I said to you, I was like, I'm tired, Kevin. I want to take a nap today.
I know. That's why I was like, I want you to
eat something if you're hungry.
Get that nap in. Yeah, we could take a break in a little bit, but like I said, like it's just been like I said, it's been a huge process and a big learning curve for you. And like I said, you went from playing for years now in the city and all over the place to now you're starting essentially from scratch. And
yeah,
I can understand the trials and tribulations of it, but I think, something I've been learning about is that the product and the consistency is most important. I think when you're consistent, and the marketing's been very good as well. The flyers look awesome. Flyers look great.
Yeah, that's a DJ 9 piece.
Yeah, shout out to 9 for the
shout out to 9.
Shout out to 9 for the flyers, but yeah, right. I wish I had a soundboard or something, but
we get that. That's next, buddy. That's
next
that,
up.
That one I can help with.
Yeah,
that one's easy.
Yeah, but so like I said, I've just noticed the branding's very well, and I think, like I said, I think things just take time, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, but so my story's a little bit different down here. So, like I said, this has been a very long process. So we've had 3 kind of unique, weird, interesting venues down here. So the year COVID started, we had a driveway right where this pool is, and we put a 30 by 30 tent on top of it, and we threw parties in a driveway. We called it the Wood. And it was fun, and it was crazy because it was COVID, and we were going to throw a party in one room, and then it became a driveway, and then it became a driveway where you weren't allowed to talk to anyone or stand up or dance or interact with anyone. It became literally a party in a driveway with rollaway bars, and that was it. And then the following year, we thought we were going to do something else, and so that's when they bought 3800, and we took an Italian restaurant and turned it into a nightlife space. And
that's what Vyce was?
No, Vyce this is the first year Vyce exists. Vyce was always here. So it was the Wood for 2 years. It was a driveway as the Wood. Then it was 3800 as the Wood. And then it became Exit 4 last year, trying to keep the brands together, which was a mistake on my part. And, it's one of the things we learned. I thought naming it Exit 4 would give the brand cohesiveness with my partners and give it some identity. But what I did was confuse people. They didn't understand what the hell that was, and they didn't understand why there was a second one, and they didn't know where we were, and we weren't going to spend a bunch of money doing the geotagging and the SEO and all that stuff because we were planning on building this. So for the past 3 years, I've been grinding down here on the summer, not really DJing as much, trying to learn how to operate, trying to learn how to run a business. And I took a step back from Double Down. I took a step back from DJing as much to be here to get to this. And I kind of thought when this was built, the shiny new toy that this is, it would have immediate traction. And I was wrong. And so that's been a learning experience and a humbling thing. But that's why this is so important to me, because I have literally bet everything on these projects, for not just for me and my career, for my family. I've definitely slowed down on the Double Down side of things to focus here. I mean, I DJ'd once this summer.
Really?
And it was Memorial Day weekend, and I DJ'd with Cedric Gervais at HQ, and it was because we weren't ready. We didn't open. I wasn't supposed to work that night. I kind of got called in last minute, and I'm playing again in HQ in August. I signed a residency with HQ for the fall.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
thank you.
brother.
Thank you. So I'm headlining on the 4th. I'm with 2 friends on the 5th at the Beach Club, and then I'm with Laszlo at night at the nightclub. So I'll be doing that once a month, like a headlining shift and then 2 support shifts over there. But that starts in August. So really I'll have 2 real gigs all summer.
Right.
And that's tough on me too, because, besides the professional side of things and the business side of things, the DJing and playing music has always been therapeutic for me and always been a form of therapy for me. So it's been very nerve-wracking not doing what is comfortable to me.
So I guess that leads into my next question. Since you haven't had that therapy, what have you been doing as a form of therapy? Just because obviously I know you've been working an insane an insane amount, but when you do have that few hours in between or whatever the sense may be, what do you do to kind of degress or to decompress? I guess the word is
not enough, and not the right stuff. I try to spend it with the kids and my wife. I try to spend it with the family because I'm here a lot. I mean, I'm lucky. This is a pool and a restaurant, and they're obviously not coming to the nightclub, but my kids spend a lot of time here at the pool with me while I'm working, so I don't have that complete separation.
Make it work.
Correct. But honestly, you're just so tired right now. I'm just so tired. There's a 3-month window here to really be successful down here, and we're pushing it. We're all pushing it. You know, that goes for my staff. That goes for my partners. You know, they have Seaport Pier and Exit 6 and a million other projects going on. So, like, this little window is very, very hard.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I try to just rest. Or
Right.
I'll watch TV. I'll watch a movie with the girls. I let Val go out with her friends the other night, and I stayed home with the girls. I mean, I brought them here to work for a couple hours first. You know, we were doing the money and doing, you know, inventory and things like that. I brought them here first.
They're going to learn the family business.
Yeah, it's very funny when your 4-year-old tells her Catholic school principal that her favorite part of the summer is spending time at the bar with Dad. It's like, listen, Daddy's not an alcoholic. You know, Daddy owns the bar.
It's business.
You know,
it's
like,
business.
You know, making Jello shots with Dad at the bar. It's like, thanks, Al.
That's
like,
funny.
Thanks, Al. You're really doing great.
Do you have any workers? I mean, specific. So I know Bryce Morgan. She's watching this. She's been pushing hard. So shout out to her.
Yeah.
Like I said, it takes a village. Is there any guys you have that you brought in that have really been like, you know, obviously all the workers are great, but
Sure.
You know, who has really been by your side? Who do you want? Like, is there anyone you want to specifically shout out?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd have to start with Matt Brierly for sure. Matt's a soldier. He's a great friend. Just wants to be better, wants to learn. You know, we all have our past, we all have our nonsense. You know, we all did stupid shit when we were younger, but Matt has really, really, really tried to maneuver past that. You know, he's my go-to when I need something right now. Zach Seidman, my other business partner on the other side, super, super supportive. You know, there's a bunch of guys here that have had, the guys that have been with me through the driveway and the Italian restaurant and, you know, the Kirill parties and things like that. You know, that's, you know, Nick McClernand and even Steve.
Yeah, he just followed me on Instagram. Yeah.
So like, I mean, listen, everyone that works here is great, and I'm thankful for, you know, because it wasn't easy the first couple weeks, you know. You're working at a restaurant for a guy that's never worked in a restaurant, so you know it's one of those. I always thought about it with professional athletes, right? So not that I'm the LeBron James of anything, but like when LeBron steps on the court, he's one of the best players to play.
Right.
Most likely better than the coach who's coaching him.
Right.
It has to be hard for that guy to listen to somebody else that he knows more than and is better at than this. You know, like that's how I feel about my staff here. Like they have to have a hard time listening to me, knowing that they have way more experience in a restaurant than I do.
Right.
That's got to be tough on people, and the fact that they do it and they don't break my balls about it and they really don't come at me about it too bad is whatever. But I'm also, again, I'm not the typical boss. I'll tell you I don't know it. Like I was very clear in saying, listen, we're gonna have to do this together because this is new to me. You know.
Have you been giving your workers? Has everyone been really taking on their own type of leadership role because there's things that they know that you don't know?
Absolutely, and I'm very clear that I want their input and I want their assistance and like, hey, listen, we'd be stupid to not listen to the people that know more than us about stuff. That's ignorant. It's arrogant. It's egotistical. I don't have time for that. I don't have. None of us have a 3-month window here to be successful. Like I don't have time to pretend like I'm smarter than you. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But again, and maybe you show me your way and I come up with a better way of doing it. That's happened a few times and. Someone's like, oh shit, like whatever. And then there's times where I've had a process that made sense to me and somebody grabbed me and was like, Jay, listen, there's a better way to do this. You know, set it up like this and then, you know, put it in the system like that. Oh, okay. Holy shit, I never thought about it that way. Like, that's great. That's where my staff has been great.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I would have to say that Matt and Nick, Steve, who brought the food over, is behind the bar right now.
Yeah. Steve's
new to the team. He's this year, but Steve's got a ton of experience in Murmur and the casinos and the Brigada. Steve's another warrior. But yeah, I mean, listen, man, anyone that's working for a guy that they know doesn't really know what he's doing and is trusting him to make sure that their families are taken care of and that their bills are paid, I got nothing but love for them because and I'll never forget the people that were here during this. We're going to make this work. I'll tell you right now. No. I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah. I'll figure it the fuck out. I promise you I will.
Yeah.
And the people that are still riding with me when it was bumpy as hell in the beginning, I'll never forget that.
Real quick, I want to transition into Fourcast, Vyce, and Fairview. So what is your I guess your goal with all of this in 5 years? Where do you see this in 5 years?
In 5 years, I would hope that this was the start of a very nice little hospitality group that has more than 3 venues on it, that has, 6 to 10 venues under its umbrella. I think to start in a level like this, I've been super fortunate that my partners are as successful as they are and as able to do things like this as they are. I don't know how to do anything construction-wise, but watching them build this from scratch was a really cool process. But the hope is that Fourcast and Vyce and the Fairview, the hope is the Fairview is one of the best restaurants at a Jersey Shore point that exists. The buzz behind the restaurant right now is crazy. Our chef is wildly talented. We can turn the cameras around and look at some of just the pool food.
Yeah, I know. Let me reset this one camera real quick.
You don't got to do that, but like the hope is that we're in a scenario where you could come down to Wildwood and you have 10 different options instead of 3, The Fairview is going to take care of well, I think the Fairview is the flagship property right now. I think Fourcast is the most different, diverse, non-Wildwood thing that exists down here.
Yeah.
There is nothing like this down here. Nothing.
Yeah.
Between the cabanas, the sound systems, the video screens on the wall, the bars, the tiki bars, the nothing. There's just nothing like this down here.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that the first off, the food that we even tried before played at Vyce the one night was awesome. It was great.
He's a very, very talented chef.
Yeah.
Super thankful to have him. Shout out to Chef Steve Johnson. We were lucky enough to get him. Great guy, really, really talented chef. We came up with the menu in kind of a cool way. My partner used AI.
Really?
Yeah, so he used AI to kind of break the menus down into different themed menus. So like a seafood focused menu, this focused menu, an elevated bar menu, and then he gave that to chef. Because as a DJ, we don't want, here's the party, you figure out how to make it work. So this was like, here's the options with the data, you figure out what it is. So,
wow.
So he took as much data as he could gather from the AI stuff, and he was the restaurant guy. He was he's not here with us anymore, but he came up with this like AI concept, and we kind of looked through it together, and I kind of let him drive that bus because again, I'm good at knowing what I'm not good at. So
right.
He was a restaurant guy. He knew what made sense and what didn't. So we pushed that way. And then chef kind of took that data and made this really, really, really dope menu where it's a little bit elevated, but it's a little bit classic, and right. The pool menu has mozzarella sticks on it, but inside has lobster risotto.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you have like separate menus just for different spots, because it could be really easy to just go, oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna have one menu for the entire place.
Sure, and we thought about doing that, but we also didn't want to cripple the kitchen. If the Fairview is as successful as I think it's going to be, the kitchen needs to focus on the full menu in there. This is more of a hot dog, Caesar salad, or chicken Caesar wrap, cheesesteak wrap, kind of outside concept. Chips and salsa. We got mozzarella sticks. We got chicken Caesar wrap on the table, but inside it's a lobster roll, and inside it's an elevated Big Mac, and inside it's the risotto, like I mentioned, or a filet with cowboy butter, which is a wild thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever had cowboy butter, but you
should.
It's nuts, dude.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this.
Sure.
Obviously, I like to challenge people on the pod.
All right, let's do it.
So I want to ask you, all right, so obviously there are the places that are the known go-tos in North Wildwood.
Sure.
If you have one or a concept, what's your solution to making this part of Wildwood an appeal for people?
More options. We need more options. And what I mean by that is, I think I mentioned earlier, if you go to the Inlet on a Friday, Saturday night, you go to the Inlet, which, shout out to Cody, shout out to Puri. The Inlet is their family. And I love those guys, and I love being there. I love their staff. If you go to the Inlet and it's not great on a Friday, which happens, you could walk across the street to Exit 6. You could walk down the street to JoJo's. You could walk another block to Keenan's, North Wildwood, I think the street's Walnut. On that street, it's closed. And there's probably 7 to 8 different venues that you could literally throw a baseball at. Like you could stand in the middle of the street and hit 7 different hospitality venues.
Right.
JoJo's, Keenan's, Curran's, Exit 6, the Inlet, Flip Flops. There's 7 right there. If one of those isn't good, you know that you could go somewhere else where you're going to see people that you know, see staffs that you recognize that have been there for years, and see the people that you are coming down the shore to interact with. The same way with the OD, you know, or in Sea Isle. You know, you go to the OD, it's not good, you go to Shenanigans. You go to Shenanigans, you go to Dead Dog. You go to, they're all the Whitebriars across the street from the Princeton.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of a man on an island here. My house is on 17th in North Wildwood. I am 3 minutes from exit 6, and I'm 3 minutes from here. So figure it's a 6-minute trip from exit 6 to down here.
Yeah.
Trying to get people to come down here is like asking them to drive to Atlantic City or drive back to Philly. And they're comfortable there. They've been going there since Keenan's has been a name that's been around here since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like, I didn't come down here partying, but I knew of Keenan's before I got down here. I knew of Echoes before it became exit 6.
Right.
You know, so I think what we have to do down here is, right now we have 3. I think we need to do another 3. And now we have the 6 that people might want to go to. You know, like, I think that is really the key here. You give them some good food options, some good nightlife options, but like, if LeCompte is at the Inlet, and you know Smooth is at exit 6, and you know Richie Baker's playing at whatever, why would you come down here? You know, right. And I also think that like the experience in Vyce is very, very similar to the experience in Exit 6. You have the same DJs playing in both places because we're partners and we all work together. You know, Smooth's booking the both places for us, which is great. It takes massive amount of stuff off my plate for now.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so like shout out to the Smooth Event Group and like, you know, all you guys coming in and playing. I'm super thankful for you. But if you're playing at Exit 6 on Friday and then you're playing here on Saturday, they're going to go see you at Exit 6. They know Exit 6 is going to be busy. You know? Yeah. So I think what we need to do is I think we need to provide a different kind of experience down here. And maybe we book some out-of-town talent, or maybe we do things a little bit bigger because these places are a little bit newer and have a little bit more, you know, like firepower behind them from a lighting standpoint or a sound standpoint. Or but I also think that, like, I think it's just a retraining of the shore. You know, things go in cycles. And I think at one point Pacific Avenue, when my parents, I guess, were partying.
Yeah, wasn't this place popping? Like
popping. From what I understand, they called it like the block that rocks, and there was like 10 different fucking venues down here. And I never experienced any of them. None. Zero. Like, I never came down here. I never, ever came down this way. So, like, I think it's just a process. It's just re-explaining to the new group of shore people that this is where you go. Because I'm not going to break those people that go to Keenan's every Friday and then wind up at Exit 6, or they go to the Inlet to see Rachel and Alex and Jared, and then they come to Exit 6 at Closure. Exit 6 has become the place you go to close your night out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like at 12, at 9:30, it's not going to be that busy. But at 12, you're going to be sweating and you can't fit another body in there because it's just so much fun, you know?
Yeah.
And I think giving people that experience down here, but I mean, what's your favorite shore spot?
I mean, I've been a Wildwood head for forever.
Okay.
I've been recently, you know, I was staying at Smooth's a lot. I've been like checking out Sea Isle, which is really nice.
But like, but think about in February when it's freezing at home and it's dark and we're all miserable. Like, what shore spot do you think about? Like, what place do you think about? Like, fuck, I really miss.
Probably Wildwood.
Okay, but what venue?
Oh, I haven't been to Keenan's this summer. I would say, honestly, dude, probably Exit 6.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So what I need to do is get that emotion down here. That's what I need. I need somebody to say, fuck, I really, really, really want that cheesesteak from Vyce, or from the Fairview.
Right.
Or like, God, like, people feel that way about Alfie's down here, the Italian restaurant. You know, like, Alfie's has been a staple down here forever. So it's like, it's Italian food. It's some nights it's great, some nights it's just Italian food. You know, like, it is what it is. But
yeah, for sure.
But in that off season, in that February, March, when it's dark and it's cold, and people are really, really missing their bikini and their you know their surf side on the beach, I want them, or I need them, to think of here and not down there. And until I can give them the experience of that nostalgia, I'm going to lose to North Wildwood every time. It's nostalgia.
Nostalgia is everything.
Especially
really is.
Down here.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's what it is. Like when I used to think about that way about the Whitebriar. You know, like, God, I can't wait to get back to Whitebriar Happy Hour. I can't wait to get back in that DJ booth, man. Like I just cannot wait to be back on Saturday in my home with the staff and the people. You see the same fucking people down the shore every weekend. They're doing the same thing. It's comforting, man. It's the routine. It's comforting.
For sure.
I need to create that atmosphere in these properties. And until I'm able to do that, I can't beat nostalgia, man.
Right.
Like, you mentioned Keenan's. Everyone that grew up coming to Wildwood thinks about going to Keenan's when they turn 21.
Yeah.
It's the first place. I want to go to Keenan's.
Yeah.
I want to go to Exit 6. I want to go check out LeCompte at the Inlet. Like, that's what they've been told is what they do.
Right.
And I'm not knocking any of those things. I've done them all, and I love all of those guys. But until I can get that, we really need to go to Fourcast, man. Like, we really, really, really need to get a cabana. Like, I want to turn 21, and I want to be here.
Right.
Until I get that, I'm gonna lose to Shot of Jameson at Keenan's. I'm gonna.
Yeah. And I think the answer to that is time, and also just innovation as well. And something I've even thought about, just like inadvertently, I'm like, what if you got like someone from like out of the city, like an act, to come in and play at Vyce or something like that? Like, that could be pretty cool.
So I thought about that, but then this is where the businessman comes in. We have a 63-room hotel above us. It's a family-friendly town. Our club has a great lighting and sound system.
I won't cut you off, but yes, I will say the sound, the lighting, it's great.
There's nothing like that exists at a South Jersey Shore Point outside of Atlantic City than what I have in that nightclub right now, or what we have that I'm sitting in right now.
Right.
I know that. You know that. That is not a flex. That is not me being arrogant. It doesn't exist down here. We built it for that exact purpose. Okay?
Right.
But what I mean by that is the hotel is where the revenue and the majority of the revenue is going to be drawn from. It just makes sense. There's 63 hotel rooms. They're beautiful. Some are 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, washer, dryer, full kitchen. You can live here for the summer if you wanted to.
Right.
Okay? So, when we were building this, I mentioned the J1 housing, right? J1s are the boardwalk workers. Part of Maury's deal when he brings the boardwalk workers in is he has to house them. It's part of the tax breaks and everything else of the J1 program. When we were designing all this, we were designing it as though the J1 students were living above us. So the sound wasn't going to be an issue. And the bass wasn't going to be an issue because they were kids, they were partying, they were here. And also the lease wasn't theirs, with the utmost respect. Not a slumlord scenario, but like they weren't the leaseholders. Maury was. And we were like, oh my God, we have a built-in clientele of like 300 or 400 people that are going to live here all summer and just like come down and eat in the restaurant and party in the nightclub, and like, great, awesome.
Right.
COVID hit. The price of everything went up crazy. We decided to pivot a little bit and become a hotel, which is awesome. Like, I get to give my friends and family an opportunity to stay here in a cool place, and like, that's amazing, right? But if I've been in nightlife for almost 20 years. I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old little girl. If I stay in a hotel and there's bass thumping until 3 a.m, I'm going to be pretty fucking grumpy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're trying to be respectful of that. So if the nightlife venues can generate X amount of revenue, the hotel's going to generate Y 5-fold.
Right.
So I have to be very cautious of the marketing and the messaging of both the nightclub and the day club, so that this does not become a not family-friendly hotel. And that has been one of the biggest struggles that we've had, because these cabanas, this is a day club. If we turn the cameras around and we saw it, and I'm sure you'll take some promo pictures, whatever it is, because you're a marketing genius now. But like, if you turned it around, it's a day club. There's no doubt about it. It's not a hotel pool. This is not a hotel pool. It's got 2 beautiful bars. It's got 5 private VIP cabanas.
Let's get this for the edit. Let's see.
There you go. Take a picture. But like, that's what we did, you know? And so we're trying to understand the concept of what this is and how it works. And unfortunately, one of my partners own the hotel outright. So we own the bricks. So I have to be protective of these little kids that are sitting in the pool. I don't want people spraying champagne all over them. I'm a dad, you know, like, and that was always something that was weird to me at Flip Flops, because, hi, Jeremy. That was always something that was weird for me at Flip Flops, because like, you're sitting there drinking and you're popping champagne and there's a little kid in swimmies in the pool. Like,
yeah. Is he still following?
Oh my God.
But go on in. Come on in.
I hate him. I don't. Why are these people my friends? Like, but yeah. So that's what we're doing. So we're trying to figure it out. But going back to your original question, what I would want is when a kid that's been growing up here, that's been coming here with his family since he was a little kid, and coming down to North Wildwood and going to Scoops and the Vegas Diner and going to all these places, and they see all these people at night and they're like I'm about to turn 21. Like, I want Fourcast and Vyce to be the place that they think of. I want Fairview to be the restaurant that they go for their 21st dinner. I want the Fairview to be the place that people come to. The Fairview's going to stay open all year, so I want the Fairview to be the place that people go watch football games. We've got 27 TVs in there. I'm going to have every football game on the planet in there all year long, you know?
Yeah.
I want this to be the place where people miss, because until you get people missing things down the shore, you're not going to win. You're not going to beat nostalgia. And this is the most beautiful property that exists in the area right now, and I'm very confident in saying that.
Yeah. I can agree. I mean, it is, like I said, it is beautiful. And
thank you.
And it sounds great. And for me, I'm a sound head, so it's like if the music isn't like bumping or...
So what you don't know is I have most of that sound system super limited. And shout out to Angelo and Cappy's Entertainment. Ange and I are literally on the phone all night long. He's tweaking my subs. To go back to the original thing with the hotel, there is 29 inches of drop ceiling. I'm going to get nerdy with you again. 29 inches of drop ceiling between the drop ceiling and the initial spray insulation. So there's 12 inches of spray insulation, 12 inches of straight concrete, and then 29 inches of drop ceiling, okay? We turned the sound system on in the nightclub, night one that we were open, at 10:30 p.m. By 10:38, I had 4 hotel complaints because of how loud it was. Because basically, we turned the building into a tuning fork, so it just shoots right up. The sound just shoots right up the building. Right. So I got Angelo on the phone. Angelo was heartbroken. The only one that was more upset about this was Angelo, because he put in an amazing system and an amazing lighting and haze machines and all kinds of crazy shit in there, like, you know, cryo in the ceiling and the artwork and all that shit. And 8 minutes in, literally 8 minutes in, and I just I went into my office and I slumped down. And again, I've spent more time crying in my office this summer than I would like to admit, because I'm not really a crier outside of when it comes to my kids and my family. But this project has been super humbling, you know, to go from playing for 20,000 in a stadium with Pitbull to 3 in a nightclub that you designed or helped design is hard. It's hard, and we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
But the sound, so I have 2 of those double stack subs unplugged. They're just not even plugged in. I can control all the subs, all the speakers from my phone. And Angelo can remote in and tweak the sound. So there's bass you could hear and bass you could feel. So he pulled back the bass you could feel and tried to pump up the bass that you could hear. And he's been, I can't say enough good things about Angelo and his team. They've worked with me on everything. You know, he helped me put the rock wall in the ceiling. We put 29 inches of rock wall insulation in the ceiling to try to bury the sound. That's still not even really working. But I think the bigger issue, if I'm being honest with you, Kev, I don't know if a nightclub is the right fit for down here. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, and that's the first time I've kind of said that out loud. And we're going to probably reevaluate it after the summer, but I think live music is more effective down in this part of town. And I think if we're going to do DJs, I think it should be out here. But going back to the original question about the bigger acts, I can't, because I can't push the sound because of the hotel.
That's right.
So I've thought about all that, you know, my connections to artists and to agencies and to even to Pitbull DJs from around the world that we work with. I thought about all that, and my partners were willing to try all that, but I can't give you the experience if I can't use the system. I'm not going to spend $20,000 on an artist and then limit the speakers because there's a 4-year-old sleeping in the room, 30 feet above us. And so that's where this becomes, what is it? So we're doing the week stuff with the Mondays. Tonight I have the crab. I'm going to do Takeover Tuesdays as a concept I started down here, where a different food and beverage venue takes over, jumps behind my bar, staff from their bar jumps behind my bar. And that's twofold. I want obviously the promotion of those places, but more importantly, I want other people to see it. People don't know that we're here yet. Right. So tonight I have the Crab House coming in, and they're going to put 2 bartenders behind the bar. I'm going to play some music, and we're going to see if, I just think when people see it, they're gonna want to experience it.
This is my first time sitting out here, and I just thought like, wow, you could definitely get it packed here, get it bumping here, and have a good time. And you know what I mean. I think even like you go to dinner at Fairview, you know what I mean, like and stuff like that. And I know you mentioned like the nightclub situation, but the nightclub situation is tough if you can't, like you said, even push your own music and sound.
Right.
You know, so maybe that could be a solution, but also like, so if Vyce wouldn't be a thing anymore, what would it turn? Do you have any idea what it would be?
So that's more of a conversation for the majority partners. Obviously, I would have a ton of input on that, but it requires some revenue. It requires some investment, you know, and some reinvestment and some repurposing. Maybe nightclub's not the right word. Maybe lounge. Maybe I don't know, dive bar. We could go 1,000 different ways, but I'm not even sure if it's the club itself or a nightclub concept in general.
Can I give you
Please.
I'll say this. My first thought when I walked into Fairview, it gave me a Whitebriar-ish vibe where I feel like.
Have you ever been to American Social in Fort Lauderdale?
I have.
We kind of based the Fairview off of that.
Really?
Yeah, like a really good restaurant that serves kind of not like, we'll call it elevated bar food.
Yeah.
You know, like when I describe, if you're a Wildwood guy, the way I described it to the chef when we were talking about it was I wanted it a step above Mudhen and a step below Beach Creek. I wanted it to be a place where we could go in a tank top and have a lobster roll.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I also wanted it a place where if you want a steak, you got a really good one, a couple of them.
Right.
You know,
right.
But if you want a burger, you just want a burger and fries. We got that too. You want to watch a game? I got 27 TVs. I wanted it to be a place where it felt like the Shore, you know, like it's not stuffy and it's not, you know, you don't have to get all dressed up.
So I think I guess, and I don't know how your Sundays have been. You have this guy come in every Sunday, right?
Yes.
So,
would you like to talk about him as a DJ?
No, not at all. No, I'm saying my point is I think that if you were to like go from having people come in for happy hour and then you have a DJ come in at night and then maybe they see a DJ who plays. Doesn't have to be anything like crazy, but they can just see a DJ come in and maybe that entices them to stay there at that spot that they've already been sitting in.
So the Fairview, we're trying to make a little bit more like Memories in Margate. Which was Jerry Blavitt's spot, obviously. We have Bob Pantano. Right. So Bob is also Bob's a great dude. He's a legend in his own right for sure. Radio guy, very, very, very loyal, very proud following of people our parents' age or my parents' age.
Right.
I'm 41. The average age of that customer is, 60 to 75. It's a lot of Motown, 60s, 70s, 80s. Again, it was an effort to make different concepts. The Fairview was a very, very, very Wildwood place. When we knocked it down, we took the name. And honestly, I can admit to you, I was wrong. My partners were like, we're going to name it the Fairview, and I thought that was stupid. And why I thought that was stupid because I thought it needed a new identity, but then I forgot about Shore nostalgia. Yeah, and I just keep going back to that because the Shore nostalgia trumps everything.
Right.
I cannot tell you how many people have walked into that room from June 9th when we opened it till, what is this, July 15th? So it's been 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many people, oh my God, I used to come here. I used to bounce here. I used to bartend here. I used to sneak in here underage. I met my wife here. I made out with my first girl here. The stories that are coming back from the Fairview, I was wrong, man. The nostalgia alone will bring people in the door. The food will keep them here.
Right.
But the nostalgia is what's bringing them here. They want to see what their place that they used to think about in February looks like now.
Right, yeah.
And it's crazy.
It's cool.
To me.
That's cool.
It's cool, but it's crazy. I'm gonna do and I'm trying to do a social media campaign. It's not, again, the problem with the Memories Margate concept and the age group is that obviously it's not as social media savvy and as social media friendly as maybe my age group or your age group. But I wanted to do a call to action where everyone sends me their old pictures of the Fairview or Pacific Avenue, and I black and white them, and I frame them, and I put them up against the back wall where the stage is going to go, where the Fairview sign is, so that we kind of bridge the gap between the old Fairview and the new one. Like, this is your Fairview over here, and this is ours over here, and they can work together.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And they can work together, and they should work together, because I want the 65 and 70-year-old person in here, and I want them two-stepping the shit out of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I also want your friends in here to be like, oh shit, like these specialty drinks are really dope. And like, the way I ideally see it is you come in for dinner on a Saturday or Sunday, and a Bob Pantano or a Johnny V or a
someone everyone knows. Yeah.
An older,
exactly,
almost like how you would play a wedding. You know, you start the wedding, and the first 2 hours is for the grandparents, and then the last 2 hours is for the bride and groom and their friends. It's kind of the vibe we want in the Fairview, like the Motown, the disco, the that stuff.
And that stuff's fun when you're down the shore.
It's fun. It's fun. Shore, man. It's what people think about with the shore. And then, you know, maybe at 10, 30, 11, Smooth gets a guy on, or one of, or you know, whoever comes down, and they make it more fun,
right,
for the younger people. Because I'll tell you what, man, you're singing along to the South Philly classics and the, you know, all that, you know,
Motown's my shit. Run Around Sue, right. Yo, come on now.
Like, you know, like the Tina Marie's and stuff of the world. Yeah. Like, you guys are gonna sing to that, but then also, like, you might want to hear a Drake song at 1 a.m. You know, like, you know, and like, and there's nothing wrong with that.
By the time it's 1 a.m., the parents are gone. I did most of the time.
It's a wedding. They've had their coffee, they had their cake, and it's time for them to go home. You know, they've been going all day. But
exactly.
Yeah, I just keep going back to the nostalgia.
Who told you about that concept, and how did you come to that realization about nostalgia?
It's just been being down here. Like I keep mentioning, this has been extraordinarily humbling for me. You know, when I was your age, I could fill a stadium the same way you can now. You know, like. My friends partied, they went out, they liked what we did, like they thought I was the best DJ in the world. They needed to go out a lot more and hear other people, because I was not, and I'm still not. But it's just, there are people that come here and love me to death. Let me back that up. There are people that love me to death that I know love and care about me, but they don't come here, man. It's not what they want to do when they're down the shore, and it has nothing to do with me. And that's taken me a very, very long time to kind of sit on and settle with. It's not, maybe it's me. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's me, but I think it's just like, this is not what they do when they're down the shore. It's not, they go to the beach, and then they go to the inlet and grab some food, and then they go to exit 6, and that's what they do. And it's not a jab at Jason Weiss or the Fairview or Vyce or Fourcast. It's just not what they do. And it took me a long time to kind of understand that I could build the most beautiful nightclub outside of Atlantic City.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. It's not the nightclub, and it's not the talent, because the same talent is playing in North Wildwood, and it's not the. It's not. It's the location. It's the location. If that building was where JoJo's Tacos and Tequila is, I'd be printing money more than you could possibly imagine. Yeah. But instead, I'm thinking of gimmicks and concepts to try to generate some revenue during the week so that we can keep the place afloat until I figure out how to make it work. Yeah.
And like you said, you're going to make it work. And I think you're going to make it work too. And like I said, I always say quality and consistency definitely helps with creating something bigger than itself, and helps to success ultimately.
For sure.
And I think that, you know, everything sounds great, everything looks great. TVs are all like 70 inches. Yes. They're all massive, and like, you know, it's stuff like that.
You should have seen the faces at Walmart when we were doing. Like, you should have seen the faces at Walmart, like, because the hotel has TVs in it too. So there's 63 rooms. Most have living rooms and bedrooms. So I figure there's at least 2 TVs in every hotel room. Yeah. On top of 27 in Fourcast, there's 27 in the Fairview. There's 6 out here at Fourcast and 10 in Vyce. So you're at almost 100 TVs.
Yeah, it's a lot. You're not missing much on.
No, so shout out to the Walmart in Rio Grande for.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, like I said, man, I think that this place has a lot of potential, and I think that you build the nostalgia aspect of it, and it just takes time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, I gotta get the kids that aren't. I gotta get the new crop of Wildwood people
Yeah.
to start understanding what this is, and that takes some creative
time.
marketing. It takes some influencers and some TikTokers and some.
And you yeah, it does take like people like that, and like, you know, and like you said before, like this has been like your first real challenge, your new experience in the business world.
Challenge ain't even the word, my guy.
So maybe this can definitely sharpen your axe a little bit. You know what I mean?
Listen, man. Listen, I'm very, very, very fortunate that I have another business that is successful and still thriving, and not that we're going broke here by any stretch of the means, but like, I keep hearing this phrase from everyone: Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
And I know it, and I don't ever want to fucking hear it again, because if the Romans worked this hard, it might have gotten built in a day. But like, listen, this isn't. You don't build a project of this magnitude and just snap your fingers and expect it to be wildly successful. There are very, very, very few businesses that are able to do that. Like Seaport Pier right now is wildly successful. It's on the boardwalk, 22nd on the boardwalk. My partners own that project too. But that took a year or two, and they're on the boardwalk. Like there's 100,000 people that walk by that every single day. Like they're on the boardwalk.
Right.
So I have to remember things like that. I just think because of the history, because of COVID, because of the path we took to get here, I was naive and maybe a little arrogant in thinking that this would happen overnight. It doesn't.
Yeah,
you could have the best food, you could have the coolest room, you could have the dopest fucking day club, and it doesn't. It takes some real marketing and some dollars behind it and some creative thought and some people that really stand behind it and support it. You know, you've been talking about coming down here since before this was even built. So like people like yourself that have always kind of tried to push to get people supportive, and I just I think it's gonna work, but I just again it was arrogant of me and very, very naive to think that even after the 3 shitty years of driveways and Italian restaurants and this and that this was just gonna be a home run. And listen, we're trending the right way with the restaurant. We're going up every week with the numbers and the volume and everything. So we're trending. It's just,
and word of mouth, good food is going to bring people back. Word of mouth.
Absolutely. And you know, we got a girl on board that's really cool with the Instagram videos and the TikTok videos with the food, because like I'm a nightlife guy. I do nightlife marketing, and Zach has yelled at me for nightlife marketing for years, so I finally got it in my brain that it's important. But you know, I just think I need that new crop of you that's been a Wildwood guy their whole life, and that doesn't know that this isn't where they're supposed to go. You know?
Right, yeah.
And once I get that, but it's not going to happen overnight. But I will tell you this: when my daughters walk in here and smile and tell people that, you know, that daddy owns a building or daddy owns a pool, which I don't own a building, but I own, you know, like my partners own a building.
But like, daddy doesn't.
But like, you know, daddy, you know, like when they get to tell people that, you know, daddy's at the Fairview, or you know, or like, hey, do you want to come to our pool? I got to tell you, man, I can't consider myself a failure at that point. You know, like I can't consider, and not that this is a failure by any stretch of the means, but I've been beating myself up. You can see the sunkenness in my face.
You're looking different, dog. You're looking different nowadays.
It's stressful doing that to you, buddy. But yeah, I just like I said, man, we're watching those two walk in, proud of this. I won't ever stop coming to work to try to make it work. So.
And dude, and at the end of the day, man, like you put the time in, and it pays off. It always pays off, no matter what. Because what happens is, you get curious, you ask yourself questions, and you ask yourself, oh, like this didn't work. How can I make this better? Or, oh, maybe this concept isn't working. Let's change this up. You're always evolving, and I think when you're evolving, that's when you're getting better. And ultimately, we're creatures of habit. And we're also creatures of survival. And you know, once you start to you know, incorporate these new ideas, incorporate these new concepts, and force yourself to pivot into these new processes and ideas, it'll just, one of them will hit for you, and all it takes is one, you know. So
don't mind me, I'm getting, my phone is exploding. I forgot I had to run the place.
No, you're a busy guy. We can wrap up in a minute though. We've been filming for over an hour, but
oh, cool.
I just want to say,
really been that long?
Yeah.
Oh shit. It was fun, man.
Honestly, this is actually a great time. I had a really fun time. This is a beautiful forecast, beautiful spot. And like I said, I want to thank you for allowing me to set up here. And I definitely want to run another one back.
Please.
Maybe we can get Bad on to sit down on the next one.
You don't want to dip your toe into that water, my man.
Nah, dude. Like I said, thank you so much. And I really believe in this place. I think it's going to succeed, and that you have the right people behind it, including yourself, obviously running this thing. So, like I said, man, you're gonna do it, and it just takes time.
And that's it, man. And I thank you for coming. Consider our cabanas your cabanas.
Hey.
We can put a loft thing on
Yeah,
the TV.
that'd be sick.
So we can put the logo on the TVs.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, we could absolutely put the logos on the TVs.
I brought a retractable banner stand up. I forgot to put it up.
You don't even need it. Yeah, I could literally put a flash drive right in the TV with your logo on it.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, we could do that for sure next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, man. I appreciate you coming, and we've been talking about doing this, and I think it's cool. We should probably get someone other than me that's more interesting on here next time. But yeah, I mean, listen, man. I know it sounded like a lot of doom and gloom, but I'm overwhelmingly thankful to be here. The path that I came on in this DJ world has been very, very, very unique and weird, and daunting at times for sure, and upsetting at times, and but to be here and to be a part of this and to be a part of the revitalization of a part of a shore town, like, it's not going to happen overnight, like you said, but I do think it's going to happen. And when it does, the people that were here and the people that rode with me, yourself included, we're going to make sure that we continue to do it all together. So
yeah, and I mean, listen, like, the one thing that I've really taught myself is that it takes longer, but it's so much sweeter when you build something up by yourself from the ground up. So it's like, this is something that, like, 5 years from now, when you have this blocks popping, and it's what they call rocking.
Yeah,
whatever the fuck.
We're never using that name again. Just so we're clear.
No, it's just when you get to that point of where you feel comfortable and it's success, you can say that you were the one that ultimately had it, and like, you built it. You didn't have to latch on to something. You built it yourself through ideas, through trials, tribulations. And you could, you've learned. You can say you've learned so much.
Yeah, we did it the way we wanted to do it.
Exactly. I guess that's my point.
Yeah, and we're making a bunch of mistakes. We're doing a bunch of things right, but but we're doing it the way we want to do it, and we're doing it the way we think everyone else wants us to do it. And so when it does work, and it will, I'm very, very confident that it will. It took me a minute to get here, but when it does, I just hope my girls continue to have that look of pride on their face when they come in here. So
I promise you they will, brother. And I gotta ask, so once the summer's wrapped up and you guys close down for the summer, what's going on back in Philly?
Well, Fairview's going to stay open year round.
Okay.
So the Fairview will stay open year round. I'm not really sure how much I'm going to be in Philly in the fall. I signed the residency with HQ, so I'll be there in a headlining way and some support shifts a couple times a month. I have my opportunities with the Pitbull radio show and things like that, and some of the artists that we work with. I'll probably do San Diego and Texas again once a month, and I'll probably be in Philly like once a month. Probably come back in the fall, but I think Philadelphia is changing, not necessarily in a way that I love, and that upsets me to even say. But I just, again, this is not an arrogance thing. I just kind of think sometimes we outgrow certain things, and I kind of feel like I've outgrown Philadelphia a little bit. I'll always love playing there. I miss playing there now. I'm never going to stop playing in Philadelphia, but I just think maybe the 3 to 4 weeks out of the month is not going to be for me. I think it'll mean more if I'm there once a month versus
you come back
every
nostalgia.
Thursday,
What do they say?
There
Nostalgia,
we go. We're back at it.
It always comes full circle.
Yeah,
but,
man.
Well, listen, I'm excited for the journey you're taking into the management and business world.
Thank you, brother.
It seems like you're learning a lot at a very fast rate. But seriously, I believe in you, and I think it's going to be great. And
thank you, brother. I appreciate you always, man.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoy this episode at the beautiful cabana at Fourcast Day Club in Wildwood. I'm Kevin Nichols. That's Jason Weiss. Peace, guys. Peace.